ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಈ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್. ಈ ಒಂದು ಸೀರೀಸ್ಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಇನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುವಂತಹ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ, ಇನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು ಮುಟ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಈ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವುಗಳು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಕೈ ಜೋಡಿಸಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ, ಈ 2 ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿಲ್ದೆ ಇದು ಮೊದಲನೇ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ರೇಖಾ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಬೈ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ, ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಈ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ 1 ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ 2 ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಮೊದಲನೇ ಬಾರಿ ಈ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ನ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿನ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾನೆಲ್ನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಬಾರಿ ಹೊಸ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಮತ್ತೆ ಲೈವ್ ಹೋದಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅದು ನೋಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ ಜೊತೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಕಲ್ಪನಾ ಸಂಪತ್. ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿರೋಂತಹ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಉತ್ತರನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬನ್ನಿ, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಲ್ಪನಾ ಅವರು ಏನು ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಇವಾಗ ಕೇಳಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ಶುರು ಮಾಡಕ್ ಮುಂಚೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ತಾನೇ ಗಣೇಶನ ಹಬ್ಬ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಗಣೇಶ ಹಬ್ಬದ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು. ಗೌರಿ ಗಣೇಶ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗಿರ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಆಶಿಸ್ತೀನಿ.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್. ನಾವು ಈ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋಂತಹ ವಿಸ್ಡಮ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್. ಈ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಕಾರ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಜೊತೆ ಕೈ ಜೋಡಿಸಿರೋದು. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತು ನಾನು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ನಾವು ಎಂಪತಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಿಂಪತಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದೆ. ಹೌ ಡು ಐ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಟು ಮೈ 5-year-old ಸನ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ನಾನು ನೋಡಿದೆ ರೇಖಾ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಇದೆ. ಆಸ್ ಎ ಟೀಚರ್ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬಲ್ಲೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಸೇರಿಸಿ ನಾನು ಇವಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ನ ಕೊಡೋಣ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್, and it is not just a 5-year-old. According to me, our children may be 5-year-old or 10-year-old. What can we do for that? And there are many activities that you can do, but it is not like something that I do like a course again. It is something that I live. First of all, as a parent, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ನಂಬಿಕೆ 3 ಪದ ಆಗಿದ್ರು, ಆ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ನಮಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. It's a very important part that we should believe in it, that what we are doing is something that we also love to do. It is not like a fake ಆಗಿ ಏನೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅದು ರೀಚ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಏನೋ ನಾನು ಇವಾಗ ಇದು ಬರಬೇಕು, ಇದು ಬರ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು, ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಅ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಎಂಪಥೆಟಿಕ್. ಯು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಂಪಥಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್. ಆಟೋಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೂ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so one important part that we say is we do so many birthday celebrations. Most of you will be calling, all their friends, and, sometimes even people go out to make parties and find outside places and have large parties. These days, event management people are there to run parties. So many things may be there. But one of the things that I've found is how can we make this party meaningful in terms of sharing with somebody I don't know. It's always about sharing with somebody we know. And it's always about what gift he gave, so what gift I should give now. Okay. So instead of that, what I have done, which has helped greatly, I feel, is from the age, I don't even remember when I started, maybe 2-year-old, 3-year-old. Every birthday party, they used to get a lot of gifts in terms of money from the grandparents. And we also used to put, so I used to say that whatever you get 50%, you will go and share it with Anatha Shishu Nivasa in Basangudi or Belakku, different places. Every year they will choose to go. That day they will go and serve the food there. And the 50% of money, whatever they've got, they will buy whatever they want to buy, notebooks or pencils, it's their wish again, because we cannot give food items to that place. We can give other items. So we used to always ensure that during their birthday parties, we never go overboard, but spend 50% they get. So they are very happy buying whatever they want to buy. In the other 50, it's not like whole thing has to be there. Anything beyond the effective zone doesn't work. Don't overdo it. Okay, give them the happiness of their birthday party. Still they can call their friends that evening and do something, but at the same time, either a lunch or that Sunday, whichever day in the weekday school go there, Sunday, please ensure that something is shared, anywhere. Okay, and many a time, and I see that in households we don't give small responsibilities to them. Like, I'm not seeing parents sometimes, really tell even a 10-year-old that, today, can you please take care of this responsibility in the house? Can you ensure that the dinner is made? The maid will come. Maybe the cook is there, but can you ensure, be with her in the kitchen? Can you ensure for everybody some dinner is made? You decide the menu and you put it up on the table. Or can you take the responsibility to clean up your room this weekend? We don't make them a part of the household. We are so worried their time for studies will go away if they do anything in life. But the whole idea of life is to do it both. Okay, so that's a very good activity. And many a time, we don't sit and talk to them much. We are always again talking to them about stories of somebody else. I have always found there is nothing more powerful than my own life story to my children. In fact, my mother also used to share her stories. So sometimes both of us will sit and say, Amma, tell me, Malaysiaramali ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ಹೇಳಮ್ಮ ನೀನು, ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ ನಂಗೆ ಚಪ್ಪಲಿನೂ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಪಾವರ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ವಿ ನಾವು ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ, ಅಥವಾ ನಾನು ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಹೌ ವಿ ವರ್ ಇನ್ ಬಸಂಗುಡಿ, ಹೌ ವಿ ವರ್ ವರ್ಸಸ್ and then so that the children, not again making like a guilt trip. People do share, but how they share. ನಿನಗೇನ್ ಗೊತ್ತು, ನನ್ಗೇನಿತ್ತು ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ನಾನು ಚಿಕ್ಕವಳಿದ್ದಾಗ ಏನು ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನಿನಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಗಿಲ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರಿಪ್ಪಿಂಗ್ ದ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್. ನಾಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಮೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ as your own memory. Be happy about that memory, but at the same time let them know what is happening. We do have such exercises in 7th grade also. ನಾವು ಅಜ್ಜಿನ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಬನ್ನಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋ ಯಾವುದೋ ಅಜ್ಜಿನ ಹೋಗಿ ಅವ್ರು ಚಿಕ್ಕವ್ರು ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಬನ್ನಿ, ಹೌ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ವಾಸ್. ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಹೌ ಟು ಡೂ ಅನ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ. ಸೊ ಅಂಥದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಇನ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ಈ ವಿಷಯದಿಂದಾಗೇನೆ. ದೆನ್ ದೇ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಮನಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಆಲ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಸ್. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮರ್ತೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನರ್ಥ, ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸಲ ನಾನು ಹೇಳುವೆ, ನಾವು ಪಿಜ್ಜಾ ಹಟ್ಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಲೆಟಸೆ 750 rupees ಖರ್ಚಾಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವಿಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಏನೋ ತಗೊಂಡ್ವಿ ನಾವು ಅಂದಾಗ, ನಾನು ಯೂಶಲಿ ಅವ್ನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಅನಾಥ ಶಿಶು ನಿವಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಅವರಿಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಒಂದು ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ 1200 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಊಟ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ 750 rupees ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಊಟ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಅಗೇನ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗಿಲ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರಿಪ್ಪಿಂಗ್, ಆಸ್ ಅನ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್. ಮೇಕ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಡೂ ಸಮ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್, make him do some arithmetic, my son. So he always understands that the value of money is different depending on whose hand it is. This is a very important part that we need to bring if you have to increase empathy. It's not about poverty, it's not about richness. They should know the value of money is dependent on whose hands it is. The 10 rupee which has a value in our hand versus a 10 rupee in the value in my driver's hand, versus that same 10 rupee value in perhaps the top businessman's hand, has a different connotation altogether. So money by itself has different connotations. So it is my choice of the connotation which makes me who I am. It's extremely important. This is also some basis for, I feel, empathy, when they understand another person from other person's shoes. And many a time we don't have, when they watch cartoons, like, so many things. At the end of the cartoon, we don't actually, most of the cartoons I have found that there is some value that they are trying to impart. They're trying to picturize. If you can really look at it, instead of simply shouting and saying, oh, it's of no use, ಯಾಕೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನೇ ನೋಡ್ತೀಯಾ. My son used to, many a time, he used to love Power Rangers. Those were the days, that Power Rangers ಬರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪೋಕಿಮಾನ್ ಏನೇನೋ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ he used to, many a time, ಬಾತ್ರೂಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಆ ಕನ್ನಡಿ ಮುಂದೆ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವ್ನು ಪವರ್ ರೇಂಜರ್ ಆಟ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ಚಿಕ್ಕವನಿದ್ದ ಅವನು, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, atra. So then he will have one katti kind of a thing, and then he will, go around that. He will act like a Power Ranger. He will wear one old watch iruttalla, maklu watch. Adan hakond Power Ranger. But most of the time, instead of telling him, don't waste your time, come out of the bathroom or anything like that, I used to, after he comes out, whatever time he takes to play, I keep quiet. And when he comes out, I used to ask him, okay, you are a Power Ranger. What is it in the society that you would like to make it better? If you had all the power, what changes will you bring? And we both used to sit the next 10 minutes and imagine. Doesn't matter if he wants to bring or not, but we used to imagine. And you wouldn't believe, at the age of 7, I have read every night the book Anahita. Anahita is poverty alleviation across the world, kind of a book with all its experiments. I don't know what he understood, but I was reading it. Somebody had gifted that book and I liked it. And he used to sleep next to me sometimes because my husband travels a lot. So from his room, he came and he said, Amma, what are you reading? I said, you want to listen? He was feeling like, yeah, I'm like an adult. I want to listen. So I started reading it aloud, and whole book we read. He didn't stop me anywhere in between. And we used to explain how Africa is, how Ethiopia is, and how India is, and how US is, what's the economy, whatever I can simplify to an extent that he can understand. But he understood my tone. He understood my pain. He understood my difficulty to tell him what the world is all about very beautifully. And even today he remembers the word Anahita. Because when he became 24, one day, all of a sudden he came and told me, Amma, I think I should find that book, Anahita. You remember we both read, imagine at 24 he's telling me this. So I always feel we need to read to children. We need to share. If you are reading a paper, a child comes and says, Amma, what are you reading? Don't simply say, oh, it's a paper, it's okay. No. If you have read some of the news, why don't you tell them about the news and discuss about the news rather than, brush it away? Then what do you do during the weekends? What is the exposure? How much do you volunteer? If you are very happy with the pets, do you go to that, pet show, not the show kind of a thing, adoption drive? People have somewhere in Kabban Park, some adoption drive, somewhere else they have. So he can go and see how many indies are being abandoned, how many dogs are on the streets, how many dogs really need a home. He might have never known about it. If you are interested, why don't you take? First, find out your interest. First, ask yourself, what are the 2 social causes I would want to work on? In fact, I was shocked when my daughter said she's dedicating her life to the differently abled. So she's with the Alzheimer's, she's with the elderly care, and she's with the, both of them. She's dedicated her life. It's not an easy job to do actually for a young girl. At 22, 23, when she was, looking at all those options, I knew, because she was always very good with the elderly. She had a fascination to the elderly. So therefore, I knew that it is something coming from the heart. So allow things to come from the heart rather than shape it up. They will do their best, no doubt. And appreciate. So in Google, sometimes they are Google surfing. Why don't you both sit together and surf in the Google on many things? What are the social causes? What are the issues that we have as of today? How world is responding to it? What is G20 convention? How climate is seen, whatever we are having today, global warming, how they are seeing, what is happening. It all depends on us, So this is a very important part. And as a teacher, engaging them in something other than your only one line of academics is very important. Okay. So even in a class, many a time I see teachers usually giving a question, say, who can answer? Again, you are building that individuality. Why don't you say, why don't 3 of you become groups and then discuss the answer, and one of you tell me what is the answer? Make groups in the class. Let the group answer. It doesn't have to be who can answer. Oh, very good, you can answer. And a child who knows the answer but he cannot communicate is not even, and if suppose you are giving something for them to write, I have seen many a time teachers, very directly telling that, why can't you finish it faster? Everybody has finished in the class. Then what are we showing? We are not showing our empathy to the slow learners. We are not showing empathy to children who can't write maybe as fast as somebody else. We are only appreciating people who are doing it very well. All these things, somewhere you are not building the empathy. It depends on how you treat people who are having a difficulty or they're not. And we don't do many a time. When I used to study, we used to have this. And today I'm able to appreciate it very well, you know. So in my school, my teacher used to always make us pairs with people who cannot study very well. See, I was a gold medalist throughout. Okay, so but I always was had a buddy who was having difficulty in studying. Maybe he failed most of the time, maybe he had a difficulty. So she used to make me be his buddy. So when I'm writing, he's sitting next to me, and I have to ensure he also writes and finishes his homework. Every morning, I'm supposed to check, have you finished your homework? You didn't understand something, I will show you mine. So can you understand this? So one, friendship got built. Two, my own tolerance to somebody who's not, you know, as good as me got built. And three, we had a good relation. Even today I'm in touch. Can you believe I'm 55? I'm in touch with that boy. You know, he works very well in an organization today. He has his family. Even this morning he sent me Kalpana Shubhodaya. You know, it is so beautiful. Okay, so therefore it is very important that we have such buddies. We are like, you know, we have support systems, and we do a lot of addition and subtraction, maths, sums. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಪುಟ್ಟ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. You know, 5-year-old, 7-year-old, 8. Statement sums. How do you give a statement sums? Why don't you give a statement sum like, okay, Ram had 50 chocolates, and he was like, you know, going you know, to his house from with the chocolate box on his birthday, and he suddenly saw Sham, who was sitting outside his house, little house, and he knew Sham will never be able to buy the chocolate that he has got with him. So he decided he will share something with him, you know, that day, and gave him 20 chocolates on the way back home. And next day morning, when Ram was going to school, Sham waved at him and smiled at him. So what was the subtraction? What was the addition? Okay, subtraction is 50 minus 20, which is 30 chocolates I have at hand. But the addition is the friendship. That Sham smiled at him next day. Okay, you can continue like that in many ways. How do you multiply? You know, Ram actually helped Sham to do something, some homework or whatever he finished. And Sham, after that, went out and he was playing, and he realized Hema and, you know, Helen and somebody had not done it. So he helped all the three of them. So what is the multiply? So one supported one, and one into three. Right, all the three people. So we multiply our joys. We multiply because when we went and shared our support, our knowledge got multiplied. So a whole class was able to get good marks. So these are so many things. Actually, if you sit and see, values and maths and values and science, everything goes together. Chemistry. Why don't you ask your child? If you have a child who's 12-year-old, they are all saying 12, 13, teenage and TV now. Why don't you sit and ask, what is the chemistry between you and me? Where do we go together? Where we don't go together? Okay, where do we become the acid? Where are we the base? You know, a foundation holding each other. So there are so many things. ಎಷ್ಟು ವಿಷಯಗಳಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಸಸಿ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ. ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, ಫೈನಲ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇಸ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ 5-year-old ಸಣ್ಣಾಗಿರ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಶಾಲೆ ಆಗಿರ್ಲಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಗಿರ್ಲಿ, ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಗಾರ್ಡನ್, ಇದೊಂದು ಗಾರ್ಡನ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಒಂದು ಸಸಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದಿನಾ ನೀವು ಮಣ್ಣು ಕೆದಕಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಬೆಳಿತಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಂತ. ಅವಾಗ ಬೆಳೆಯತ್ತ? ಅದು ಬೆಳೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀರು ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ, ಅದನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ತೀರಾ, ಆ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ, ಅದು ವಿಶ್ವಾಸದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅದು ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದ್ ದಿವಸ ಫಲ ಕೊಡತ್ತೆ. ನಾನಂತೂ ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬೆಳೆಸಿದ್ದೆ. ದಿನ ನೋಡೋದಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಯಾವ್ದಾ ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಶಾರ್ಪ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಡ್ ಹತ್ರನ ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರನೋ ನನ್ನ ಮಗನ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಶಾರ್ಪ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1 hour ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ನಿನಗೆ ಸರಿ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತಾ ಅದು ಹೇಳೋದು ಅಂತ. ಕೆಲವು ಸಲ ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ ಅವಳು ಈ ತರ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ಲು, ಅವಾಗ ನಾನು ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು ಅವಳಿಗೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ತಪ್ಪಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಹೇಳದೇ ಇದ್ರು ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತು, ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿರೋ ಸಂದರ್ಭ ಇದೆ. ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾರಿ ಮಾ, ನಾನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿನೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಅಂತ ಅವಳ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ, ಸಾರಿ ಆಂಟಿ, ಬೇಜಾರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ, ನಾನು ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ, ನಾನು ಬೇಜಾರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋ ಅಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭನೂ ಇದೆ. ಎರಡೂ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಒಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಗಿಡನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮರವಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆಸಿ ದಿನ ಅದರ ಏನೋ ಸಂತೋಷ ಪಡ್ತೀವೋ, ಅದು ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನು ಸಂತೋಷ ಪಡಬೇಕು. ಇದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ, ಒಂದು ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ, ಒಂದು ಚೆಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್. ಅಂಡ್ ನಾವು ಬೆಳಿಬೇಕು, ಅವರು ಬೆಳಿಬೇಕು. ಮ್ಯೂಟಲ್ ಇದೆ ರೇಖಾ.
ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು. ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟಡೀಸ್ಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ರಿಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾನಿಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಅಂಡ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಅವರ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ಕೊನೆಯದಾಗಿ ಹೋಗಕ್ ಮುಂಚೆ ಒನ್ ವಿಸ್ಡಮ್ ವರ್ಡ್.
ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಜರ್ನಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಒಂದು ಜರ್ನಿ, ಒಂದು ಡೆಸ್ಟಿನೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಜರ್ನಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಎವಲ್ಯೂಷನರಿ ಜರ್ನಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಸರಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ ಎವಲ್ಯೂಷನರಿ ಎಕ್ಸಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರಿಟ್ಟು.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್. ನಾನು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿರುವಂತಹ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಉತ್ತರ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತಹ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಹಳೆ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೋಡಿಲ್ದೇ ಇರೋರು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬನ್ನಿ. ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾನೆಲ್ನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಮರಿಬೇಡಿ. ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಬೈ ರೇಖಾ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.